Hi, I'm Jenny Brown, Sales Director at Mortgages for Business. Welcome to our weekly buy-to-let mortgage market update. And this week has been a far more positive week in terms of lending news. We've been delighted to see Precise Mortgages and Kent Reliance come back to lending, admittedly at restricted loan to values, but the rates are very, very keen and they're able to offer AVMs because they're using lower loan to values. So really positive news for the market this week. In addition, there's been some further amendments between lenders with regards to some changes in lending policy, and we're really starting to see things start to open up again, which is really great news. Now, you'll notice that I'm in a slightly different room this week. I've been kicked out of my lovely ground floor converted living room come office, and I'm now in one of the spare bedrooms, so I thought I'd come and film from my kitchen instead today. So a little tour of my house while we go through coronavirus. So this week, what I wanted to do is just go through for you guys some of the frequently asked questions that we're receiving from some clients, because there's some really good questions that we're being asked where people have some uncertainty in terms of where the market is at the moment and some actually misconceptions. So really I wanted to just run through a few of these with you and just share an update on where the market is to give you a better overview of the availability of certain types of mortgages and maybe help if you have any questions with regards to your own financial situation. So the first one we're being asked frequently is, can I still obtain a mortgage on an HMO? And the answer is yes, you can, both for refinances and purchases, up to 75% loan to value. I think it's fair to say that there is some caution around properties which will be let to students. Understandably, at the moment, we're not entirely sure when the students will be going back to university, and therefore the demand for such a property is slightly questionable just now. Having said that, there are lenders very much who are saying they will lend on HMOs, and they're not stopping applications for those where the property is let to students, but there's just more caution around those. So yes, definitely able to get a mortgage on an HMO at the moment. Another type of property that we're being asked about quite frequently is blocks of flats or multi-unit freeholds, and whether also there's an availability for mortgages on that kind of property. And again, the answer is yes. The lenders are still very much lending on blocks of flats, that's no problem. Again, there will be some caution around loan to value. So across the board, don't expect to get anything more than 75% at the moment. But yes, indeed, definitely we can obtain mortgages on multi-unit properties. Now, I think this is probably the question that I get asked the most at the moment, and that is, do we think interest rates are going to come down? And I really do get why people are asking this question. Naturally, there's been a couple of reductions in base rate. The mortgage rates haven't really followed suit. So it's understandable why people would be thinking that maybe there will be a reduction in interest rates to follow. And my answer is that for the near future, so for the next few months, I cannot see interest rates coming down. Indeed, I think lenders might start to push their margins up as there's less competition in the market at the moment. Yes, of course, when we're back to normal and lenders are all back lending as per pre-coronavirus, then sure, I think there is room for rates to come down. Not by a huge amount, but because I think the mortgage market will have moved on a bit because of everything that's happened. But for the near term, so for the next 3 to 6 months, I really can't see lenders reducing pricing. There simply isn't the appetite to do so. And there also is not the level of competition in terms of lenders vying for business that there was pre-coronavirus. So no, if you're looking for a mortgage at the moment and you're sort of thinking, if I'm going to hang on for a few more weeks, is pricing going to come down? My answer to that is definitely no. A client asked me a question the other day, which I thought was a really good one, and that was, can I get a mortgage if I'm currently on furlough? And the answer is that yes, you can. Being on furlough, you're still actually employed, and you have a job to go to or back to once we're permitted to do so. So the short answer is yes, you can get a mortgage if you are on furlough, but just know that when lenders are looking at your income, so are you earning £25,000 a year, for example, what they're going to be doing is looking at your income whilst you're on furlough rather than what it would be if you were actually going to work every day. But yes, lenders aren't discriminating against those who are on furlough in terms of whether they can actually get a mortgage at the moment. Another question we're being asked quite frequently at the moment is from our property developer clients. So what they're saying is, I've just built a block of flats or a house or a development of houses. Obviously at the moment I'm going to struggle to sell them, so what are my options in terms of arranging finance, either to pay off the development finance that's in place or to raise funds to go on for other projects. And there are options available for you guys, don't worry. In terms of how these land, there are really two types of mortgage products available. So we have products called developer exit products, which are essentially bridging loans, which are really, really good if you just need to take a fairly short-term measure or financial package to help cover you over a period of maybe up to 12 months. Then also the other option is that if you wanted to put a longer term mortgage on, so you've taken the decision that actually you're going to hold onto the properties for a while, rent them out and then look to sell them later. So a buy-to-let mortgage would be more appropriate. So there's definitely options for you guys, don't worry. You need to give us a call really just to chat through what you have in terms of security and what your plans are, and then we can recommend the most appropriate course of action. The final question that I wanted to cover off with you is that we're still being asked a lot about whether valuations are taking place and what's happening with those. So what we have seen is a number of lenders look to use technological solutions for the time being in the shape of what's called an AVM or a desktop valuation. And this is where essentially the surveyor will be using online resources to place a valuation on the property without actually physically going to look at it in person. Now, there are lots of lenders offering these within certain parameters. So some lenders, for example, wouldn't be able to offer an AVM on a block of flats, as an example, or maybe an HMO, or maybe a new build, or a high-rise. They've all got their own different variations in terms of where they will and won't accept AVMs. What's also quite interesting is there are some lenders who are simply unable to use AVMs. And this is not because of their unwillingness to do so or their inability to get their heads around the technology. It's more to do with the way that they are funded. So some lenders obtain their funding rather than lending from what's called their balance sheet, i.e. they're people that save money or invest money with them, and they re-lend it out. Some lenders are getting their money in from the money markets. And the conditions which sit around these mortgages in terms of the way the lenders are able to arrange their lending to our clients is that there needs to be a physical valuation take place and the report needs to be on the file. So it's not that these lenders are unwilling to try and find a solution, it's simply that the terms and conditions which facilitate them having money to lend out to you as a buy-to-let mortgage preclude them from doing so, so they're not able to do that. So if you are in the market for a buy-to-let mortgage and you need it very, very quickly, then you're going to need to go down the route of a lender who is able to offer an AVM. And the best thing you can do in that situation is give us a call. We can chat through who the lenders are, which would be appropriate for you, who are doing this. However, actually, if you're able to wait for a period of time, you're not under huge amounts of time pressure, and you can wait until valuers can go back out, then there's options there for you as well. Last of all, but by no means least, there's been a significant number of people who have expressed a huge amount of curiosity about the mystery dog that you hear barking occasionally when I'm doing my videos. So on an exclusive basis and a one-time only, this is Otto, my schnoodle, who you hear barking. So Otto is about 4 years old now, and obviously loving the fact that we're all at home at the moment. So here he is. This is the dog that you hear, the secret guest that we have on our videos. So that's it from us this week. Thank you very much for joining us. As always, there's lots of information, case studies, and general interest rate information, all that kind of stuff on our website, mortgagesforbusiness.co.uk. Our consultants are also working as normal. You can give them a call with any questions that you have, 0345 345 6788. And that's it for us this week. So we'll look forward to catching you next time. Just look after yourselves.